Hello, guys.
Hi, guys.
Welcome back.
I'm happy to have Megan back.
Yes, I hope you guys enjoyed Rich last week. Karen and Rich were awesome and filled in for me.
She was in Paris.
Yeah, so I don't feel really that guilty about it.
Nope, lucky girl.
No, but it was an awesome episode, and I actually was super excited because I knew what they were talking about, and I was really excited to hear Rich's point of view because he's spoken at some of our Mama's Nights. He's taught some of our classes at the co-op, and he does a really good job. So I thought it was like completely biased. I know they're my friends, but I thought it was a really great episode.
Thank you. We had fun doing it. It was cool.
Yeah.
So today we're starting a new one. You'll see in just 1 second what we're talking about.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
All right, welcome back. How was everybody?
We hope you guys are doing well. We have another episode today about high school for you.
Yes, this one's come because we've had, have had a lot of questions. I think it's been more on my Hippie Mama page.
Yeah.
Of moms saying, wait, your kid's not getting a high school diploma? Doesn't your kid have to have a high school diploma? And so that is what has inspired this episode.
Yeah.
Do you need a high school diploma?
No, you don't. You can do it without. And both of our kids are doing that right now.
Yes. So it was interesting as we were talking about this. I have some family members on my in-laws that dropped out of high school. And so we were laughing like they are successful adults now. They've done really well. And so you actually do not have to have a high school diploma. There is no law. There is nothing that says you have to have a high school diploma. I did not look up in all 50 states, but I did look for Utah.
Yeah.
For Utah, it is not legally required to have a high school diploma. So
to go to college or just in
just
general?
In life.
Yeah, no, I don't think that that's the case in any state. I don't think there's any legal requirements there.
Yeah. So I thought, no, you don't have to.
You know, this is one of those things though that kind of takes a mind shift a little bit because
Absolutely.
it's you always want your kid to graduate from high school, and you feel like if they don't, they're a failure in life, right?
Like they're going to be
like
homeless.
the first step of failing in life if they don't get their high school diploma. But my my sister just above me, I have a lot of sisters, but she didn't get her high school diploma either. She was a junior in high school and already had enough credits to be a sophomore in college and decided she didn't want to do her senior year, so she stopped and she applied to the college she wanted to go to, and they accepted her, just like that. And so there's a lot of options for not doing high school or for getting into colleges or whatever you may want to do without having to have a high school diploma.
Yes. So I do put out there on my Instagram that my oldest is getting a high school diploma. So I think we've talked about that a lot of kind of how to, but just briefly, I just had to find out what the district requires. And I am not accredited, as I have been so kindly told. And so anything I did with him did not count, and all of his classes had to be accredited. So he's been working his buns off because he started mid-10th grade, and he has to do what the required classes are, the right amount of electives, and it was just working a lot with a counselor and figuring all that out.
But he's not doing traditional high school either.
He's not.
Kind of a distance learning type program.
Yeah, so he goes to school twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and 3 of his classes are through the local college here, Utah Valley University. His math is just Math 3, and then the rest of his classes are through East Shore, and it is just for people in our school district, Alpine School District, who want to either get ahead with classes or catch up with classes. And so right now he has 7 classes, so it's
a big load.
It's a big schedule.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So how do you do this without going that route?
Well, that's what Karen and I, so my next 2, obviously my children are very close in age, you can hear that. So I have a senior, junior, and a sophomore. And then Karen's oldest is
a sophomore.
Yeah. So her oldest and my next 2 are doing the exact same route, which is bypassing high school and going straight to college.
Yeah, and they're doing a program called College for America, and we've mentioned this before in our other high school episode. And it's a way that you can do online schooling, and you're getting college credits, and they're going to come out, well, depending on how much they work on it, with either an associate's or a bachelor's degree.
So what about if your kid doesn't go to college and they're just doing high school? Then what do? Luckily, we've had some friends do this route so that we can help you through this. And I think step one is figuring out what college you want to go to. If that's your route, maybe you're an entrepreneur, so that's a completely different. If you're an entrepreneur, you go down that route.
Or trade schools.
Trade schools. Just a side note for entrepreneurs, there is a great program called Praxis that does an internship for a year that mentors you how to be an amazing entrepreneur. So highly recommend them. I got to hear them speak, and they were really great. But if you want to go to college, step one is finding out what does that college want from you to enroll into their school.
Yeah, and those are going to all be different. They're going to vary school to school, but typically it's, the ACT or SAT scores, some sort of transcript of what you've done through your educational years, and usually an essay, other accomplishments that you've done in your life.
So groups you've been involved, service in the community. A friend of ours, she applied for Brigham Young University, and she just found out what they wanted, and they want a high ACT score. So she got a tutor who helped her do great on the ACT, and then she wrote an amazing essay, and she was able to get a half scholarship. And she was 100% homeschooled. She didn't have any credited classes behind her, and she was able to get into the school, and then she was able to get a half scholarship with, I think through her dad's work.
Yeah.
And then half scholarship. I don't even know. It wasn't an academic.
She just was awarded it. Yeah.
Okay.
Some sort of academic scholarship. Yeah.
Yeah. So
pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was really awesome. And so we have some other friends too who have quote unquote graduated from homeschool. And another friend of ours, she did some of these concurrent enrollment classes. I don't know if that's just a Utah thing.
No, they do that elsewhere. I did that in Florida when I was a kid.
Thank you. Good. Karen gets out more than I do. And so she was able to just go right back into that same college, the Utah Valley University, because she had already been taking concurrent enrollment classes through them.
Yeah. And that's a good way to do, like if you have your child in school, you can do concurrent enrollment. I looked into that this year for Brennan, just ways around that, but you do have to go to the high schools here to do the concurrent enrollment classes. So you can't do that independently completely.
No, you cannot. I have tried.
Yeah.
No, so it really is great for finding out what your kid wants. So my oldest he's so sweet. And he's kind of like, why don't you tell me what I want to do? And I thought, oh my gosh, are you really my child? But he loves being told what to do. So for right now, I said, why don't you just get as many credits as you can? And he did decide to get his high school diploma. And then he's planning on serving a mission for our church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, next year. And then he'll decide what he wants to do after that. My next son is planning on getting his associates through College for America, and then he wants to go to music school. So his homework right now is to find out what the music school requires of him. If they want test scores, if they want a transcript, or is it purely going to be on his ability to play his instrument. So that's kind of where I put it a lot, as much as I can put onto my children. I see that they are much more motivated to get stuff done because it is their choice. And it's really a great time. And we've talked a lot about this at this mentoring time my oldest turns 18 in a few weeks. And so I told them, technically you could go buy a house or
That's crazy.
Go do something like this, right? Yeah. Like you don't need my signature or my permission anymore. And it was just kind of crazy to see, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm going to turn it back over.
You're okay.
We had a technical thing that
there's a lot of techie things that happen and you guys don't even notice. But just moving along from that, both of us have read this book called The Brainy Bunch. And it's an interesting book of a mom who homeschools her kids, but she starts them in college classes when they're 12 I think is when she starts them.
And she does just one class at a time.
But she'll take them to the school and she'll wait on campus, and sometimes she even attended classes with her littler ones and works them through getting their college degree before they would even be graduating high school. And it's pretty amazing. It's a pretty intensive process, especially with a larger family. I don't know how well it would work for you in particular.
Yeah, I was going to say sitting on campus, but the tricky thing I saw with that was how expensive. I don't know if they were just paying for the classes.
I don't know either.
Because
probably.
Your kid's probably too young to pay for it. And it seems kind of hard to have your 12-year-old making a $400 payment or
definitely. So that would be tricky expense-wise. But if you're wanting to really accelerate your kids in that way, there is that option. But I also know that you don't have to do these things.
Yeah.
I think it's a wonderful benefit of homeschooling that you can have your kids really pushed ahead in a college area, because college can be so pricey and you can go into debt for your schooling. And so to have these options is a really wonderful benefit of homeschooling. But don't feel the pressure to have to do these things either, because you can just go through and learn and get a regular transcript and apply to a college and still be successful and still do well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was even talking with my husband. So my husband surprisingly actually has his bachelor's and his master's, but his career requires no degree. He does finances, and so it requires a lot of certifications, a lot of licenses, but no degree. And so there are a lot of great paying jobs out there that actually don't require a degree.
Yeah.
Like Karen's husband requires a degree because he's a therapist.
Yeah, he has a master's degree, and it is a requirement to be able to
Yes.
do his job. Yeah.
And so if my sons, we've even talked to them, if they ever wanted to take over my husband's business, they would just have to go get licensing. So there are so many options. Like college is great and it's wonderful, and if that's your path, then fantastic. But like she said, there's trade schools. There's so many stuff like mechanics and welding. I don't even know all the trade schools
A lot
out
of
there.
computer
Yes.
options. There's so many things.
Yes, if you're hands-on, if you're, if you are an entrepreneur type or not an entrepreneur type, there are so many options out there. So I guess the really underlining thought behind this message is it is not a one-size-fits-all.
No.
Just like homeschool.
And it's really about, what's the end goal? Is the end goal, a specific career? Is the end goal just to get the degree, to check it off? There's a lot of different things that people have in mind for what they want for their future. And so help your child figure that out, and
that's what I was just going to echo, is put it onto them. Like as the mom, sometimes like, oh, you would be so amazing. Like one of my sons has an ability to be an amazing pianist, but he hates practicing so bad that it was going to affect our relationship. And so even though I can see like this talent and this amazing ability, it isn't going to happen. So if I try to say, hey, you should really go into music, you're an amazing musician, or even math, he's really good at math, and he's like, yeah, but I hate it. So it's then turning it over to them and saying, like, obviously I can see your talents and your gifts, and you're going to do whatever you want to do. So why don't I just help you?
Help them find their passion and help them to develop that.
Yeah. And then knowing that there are so many options. Another one is like hair school.
Oh, right, yeah.
Estheticians, all those types of stuff. If you have, I guess because I have two boys first, I keep thinking boys stuff. But with the girl stuff, there is, and boys can do that too, but it is predominantly more girls. But the esthetician, and I always tell my daughter, like, that's a great gig, because if you want to homeschool,
you can work from home as well.
Yeah, you can be a stay-at-home mom and like do a little bit here on the side. Or
I have a few friends that do that just out of their home. So it is a good job. Yeah. So there's a lot of great options, and just know that you guys can do this, and there's some really amazing choices out there for your high schooler, and hopefully this helps you figure out a little more your path for your kids.
Yeah, and to feel a little bit more confident, and just know, like, legally, I hope, like, I'm not a lawyer, but like, you don't have to have a high school diploma.
Yeah.
And then find your path. All right.
Thanks for listening today.
And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Yeah, bye-bye.